Welcome ladies and gentlemen to a casted game of Age of Empires 4, and today we are on the public update preview. We've got a sneak peek at what's in store for Season 4 in Age of Empires 4, and today on Four Lakes, we've got in the south corner of the map 3DB playing in orange as the Holy Roman Empire, and it's going to be going up against Anotand playing in the northwest in blue. Also as the Holy Roman Empire, it's an HRE mirror, guys. Welcome to Four Lakes. One of the new maps, and actually having a look at it, I think this one is a little bit bugged because in the north, all we have is mountains. There should ideally be sacred sites. Well, just the one sacred site here anyway, at least, as far as I'm aware. On the east, of course, sacred site there. We've got a pond with the deep water fish and the shore fish on each corner of this map. North, south, east and west. And we've got a sacred site on each corner as well. Which is interesting because, of course, the Holy Roman Empire do often get prelates nice and early in the Castle Age. Could be a nice strategy to try and get hold of those sacred sites. But what will be super interesting is how both players approach the issue of getting docks. We do see Anotand getting a dock here in the north corner of the map. One that's kind of closest to him, really. And in the east, we do see a scout there going for 3DB, maybe eyeing up a dock on the east himself. He's docked on the south already. And because this map has 4 lakes, I mean, ideally both players would want to go for 2 each. That's what you'd expect, at least. And we see a bit of an early engagement here with a villager actually killing the sheep from the scout. And it looks like that villager might be looking to build a dock here on the east. And that's surprising because that's not really Anotand's lake to take. Anotand going a bit aggressive, going for the east pond. And I like that play because I suspect B was opting or was going to plan to go to that side. And this is something that now Anotand could potentially contest as long as the villager manages to build the dock. I suspect she will. We'll have to, well, she will. I think for a second there, the scout actually torched the dock there, which is less than ideal. I suspect she won't make the trip home, not unless the scout helps along, and that looks to be the case for Anotand. So, thinking about the strategies here, 4 lakes, going for 2 docks is probably ideal as long as you can stay alive in the feudal age, because, of course, with fishing, what often happens is you start off with no food and then you suddenly skyrocket, especially with 2 docks, and I feel like that will give you a very good lead time in getting to the Castle Age. Has that second dock up and running now? So what would happen now if Anotand's producing from both docks? It does mean that the food income will start to skyrocket in the mid to late feudal age. He will need to invest a little bit more on villagers on wood, inspiring these villagers with the prelate. And it means that his feudal age uptime might be a bit delayed compared to B's. Probably not significant amounts though. It will be delayed nonetheless, and that might give 3DB a bit of a lead time to be a bit more aggressive. In the feudal age, that is. But we'll have to see because, of course, it's not always that easy to put on pressure in the feudal age. There's a scout coming in the north, so 3DB knows where Anotand is in terms of his 2 docks. Now, because we're on the public update preview branch of the game, we're getting a sneak peek of what's in store for us for Season 4. And, well, with the Holy Roman Empire, there have been a few changes. And I say a few, really, it's all revolving around the landmarks. And, in particular, the Minework Palace. The Minework Palace is the landmark which now holds 2 technologies unique in that landmark. Speaking of landmarks, this is the landmark that actually 3DB is going to go up with. They're going to go up with the Minework Palace. Now, we do know that this landmark actually reduces the cost by 40% of researching, like blacksmith technologies, but also makes them 40% faster, so they can come in quick time. But what's changed with the pup is that they've got 2 unique techs now. One is called Riveted Chainmail, where spearmen and horsemen get +2 armor, that's melee armor, and it costs 75 food and 175 gold. And, you know, that used to be there in the barracks, but now it's in the Minework Palace. Steel barding armor is also the new technology in the Minework Palace, steel barding armor, which gives knights +2 armor, and it costs 200 food and 500 gold. So that's what B is looking to maybe take advantage of, the cheaper upgrades. Whereas Anotand is not actually going to the next stage just yet. And we talked about this, how Anotand being on 2 docks will delay his feudal age time. It looks to be quite a significant delay actually, but having 2 docks with fishing ships out, it does mean that, well, his food income will skyrocket. As you can see, 7 fishing ships for B, 3 plus 6, 9 there for Anotand. But it does mean the Castle Age time is likely to be a bit faster for the Holy Roman Empire playing in the north, for Anotand that is. And there's that feudal age now there for 3DB. It'll be interesting to see what production buildings he goes for. He's going for marching drills, so it's going to be a barracks most likely. That is indeed the case. Going to go for a barracks of his own to put some pressure in the feudal age. Now this is interesting because, of course, the Castle Age landmarks that the Holy Roman Empire have access to, well, one of them is the Burggrave Palace, and one of them is the Regnitz Cathedral. The Burggrave Palace can be incredibly strong, but with barracks already being on the field for 3DB, I suspect he's going to go for the Regnitz Cathedral because, well, it doesn't really lend itself to doing so much more additional benefit going for the extra barracks, but we shall see as the game wears on. In any case, what we're likely to see here, which is super interesting, is because of the Archon Chapel landmark of choice for Anotand, it does mean his economy for the wood is probably, well, it's definitely going to be better, especially with his going on gold as well. And what would be really smart for Anotand here is if he decides to go to the Castle Age with the Burggrave Palace and spamming out man-at-arms. That could be a little bit difficult for 3DB to handle because, now, thinking about this conceptually with the Burggrave Palace, it's incredibly strong on most maps, but I have a feeling its advantages really lie on hybrid maps and water maps because of the fact that you essentially save 750 wood by going for the Burggrave Palace, and that 750 wood is essentially fishing ships. In fact, it's 10 fishing ships worth, and that is huge. That's a lot of food income that can be kind of swapped for the cost of the Burggrave Palace. And really, I feel that's what Anotand has kind of gone for in this situation. Well, it depends. If he actually goes for the Burggrave Palace, we'll have to see. He could opt for the Regnitz Cathedral. I would be a bit surprised by that because he probably is aware that he has the advantage economically and will be able to spam out units. But Regnitz Cathedral could be useful on this map if you go up to the Castle Age first, especially with the fact that, you know, there are a couple of relics in pretty close to Anotand already. One in the north and one in the south of his base. Here comes a man-at-arms for 3DB, but this is a feudal age man-at-arms, and Anotand just decides to stand and fight. And does have a prelate which can heal these villagers if he needs to. He might lose one though. The man-at-arms does get a kill. Another man-at-arms coming in for 3DB. Yeah, this forces an outpost in for Anotand. But it has to be said, I'm not entirely sure that this is much of a problem because he does have a lead with the fishing ships. He does lose a second villager, starting to be a bit more painful. It is causing some idle time as well. Less than ideal, but I'd be interested to see if this macro approach for Anotand pays off in the long run. A third villager. Okay, this is looking pretty good for 3DB now. As the villagers do garrison aside the outpost. Might potentially lose another one if 3DB is paying attention to the weak vills. You see the formations causing the villagers to move a little bit faster, but not as much as they once used to. Does lose a fourth villager. That is actually big pickings. But probably won't be able to get too much more value. Although the man-at-arms are still flooding. Two villagers coming in as well for 3DB. Maybe to get an outpost up. We shall see. Bit surprised to see those villagers there. I think they're going to die. That might have been a misclick. In any case, Anotand has got a... wait, hang on a minute. Hang on a minute. Ooh, a sneaky dock there went up on the south. Anotand looking to put some pressure on this southern pond. Oh, we've got something sneaky in the north as well. Looks like 3DB has docked up in the north. With all that feudal age aggression from 3DB, we have now actually cottoned on to the fact that, well, they've been docking each other's pond, and Anotand has lost his whole fishing economy in the north. Still has the one in the southeast, well, in the east rather. It's actually pretty strong. Looks like B has got his fishing economy live and kicking, but, and this is a big but, Anotand had the superior fishing economy for a very long time, and it looks like it's paying dividends because look at the food that Anotand has right now. All he's struggling with is gold. As soon as he gets the gold, he'll be looking to get to that Castle Age. He's not really committing too much in terms of feudal age units. In fact, he doesn't actually have a production building at this point, which is huge. Fishing economy still running in pretty nicely there for 3DB. Does actually have emplacements here in the stock here, Anotand. It's a nice touch. And 3DB is going to get control of this northern pond, but this is a huge investment. And that is quite significant actually, because the lead time for this to pay off is huge. Like if B is going to make this work and make this actually count for something, I mean, sure, apart from just denying the food economy, which is actually pretty big in and of itself, but if he now wishes to start fishing, which he does, that's going to take some time, and it just feels like maybe he doesn't have that time because of the Burggrave Palace. That is the landmark that Anotand is choosing to do, and you can just see the game plan and the thought of Anotand in terms of the strategy he's choosing here. It's pretty interesting. 3DB is still a way off of that Castle Age. In fact, he's gone for 4 barracks. It looks like he's going to stay in the feudal age for quite some time. There's a lot of man-at-arms coming out here right now. And looks like they're trying to get more damage on the villagers on gold. But still, picking up at that gold there is Anotand. Does have the outpost though. Might lose another villager. Does lose another villager. So Anotand losing quite a lot of economy. In fact, he's only got 40 economy units to 49. And that's a big switch. It has to be said. But there's the Burger Palace. You can see plenty of man-at-arms being queued up. And this is virtue of the fact that he has so much food from that fishing economy. And saving 750 wood effectively here with this landmark is massive. And the super interesting part of this match is the fact that, well, with 5 barracks here, he's going to be able to match the production of the Burger Palace. But the issue for 3DB, he's had to invest 750 wood to do so. And if 3DB now goes up to the next stage with the Regis Cathedral, which it kind of has to be at this point, you know, it doesn't really save him that much. It saves him 150 wood on the monastery. I mean, sure, you're going to get the gold relic bonus, but when Burger Palace is involved, time is of the essence. And you can see that right now, that this is early man-at-arms versus early man-at-arms, but the numbers here for Anotand looking strong. And I wouldn't be surprised to see Anotand now looking to upgrade these man-at-arms. And that's exactly what he does next. He gets the man-at-arms upgrade for the Castle Age versions of these units. And he'll be able to take a cost-effective fight here. Even with the upgrades that 3DB has, he does already have the insulated helm upgrade. Rather, actually not. He doesn't have that. He has the previous upgrade from Tier 1, the Feudal Age upgrade. And he also does have Bloomery. But in any case, it feels like Anotand just has the numbers here. And it's going to push this away. And his gold's going to be safe again. Village coming out to gold again, struggling a little bit for food. But he's continuing to produce. That's the key issue. Again, another 3 man-at-arms queued up in the Burger Palace. Actually, that was 3DB's point of view. But in any case, he's still producing a decent amount. He's actually looking to get... Yeah, look at this. These guys are going to come out very soon. And coming out fast too. 3DB keeping up with the man-at-arms spam himself. Going up with the Regis Cathedral now. Going up with about... Holy moly. 25 villagers. That's almost half of his economy. He needs that Castle Age. He needs to match the tech here. And he does have more units on the field, it has to be said. Man-at-arms on the stone mine. Surprised to see Anotand going on the stone. Maybe looking to get some arrow slits and placements in the outpost that he has so far. Man-at-arms again harassing the villagers on gold, but those were early man-at-arms. And Anotand are going to dive straight in here. And this is a window of opportunity for Anotand. If you can just isolate and just idle the economy that 3DB has, that could be huge. On the east, fishing economy is still live and kicking there for Anotand. In the south, that's a huge amount of fishing economy there for B. Looks like even Anotand was hoping to fish. He's gone on the western pond as well. So he does have the west and the east pond here, Anotand, and units just harassing villagers. The problem for B, he doesn't have safe gold access. Where does B get gold from? He's on stone heavily, maybe looking to get a keep, but B is not on gold at the moment, and he's going to struggle to keep up production. He needs gold for the man-at-arms, but where's he going to get it from? Man-at-arms again harassing the villagers. Looks like B can lose a lot of villagers here. Has got 67 eco units though, which is absolutely fantastic compared to his opponent. Again, the man-at-arms span just continues here for Anotand. Does lose a villager or two on the stone, but not the biggest deal in the world. Is probably saving up for a keep, but doesn't quite have enough. And the interesting part of this all is that the Minoc Palace, well, the new changes with the pup aren't actually being utilized because of the fact none of the upgrades, the new upgrades from the Minoc Palace, actually affect the man-at-arms. They affect the melee armor of spearmen and horsemen, and grants knights +2 melee and ranged armor. So the man-at-arms don't get improved at all. In fact, the Minoc Palace doesn't actually give 3DB anything more that Anotand can't get himself. Albeit the fact that 3DB can get them cheaper, these upgrades, but they don't seem to be coming in at the moment. They can't afford to. And the numbers really do seem to be mattering more than the upgrades here, because the numbers for Anotand, now 27 military to 26, but the trouble for B is that he does not have any gold income at all. That gold in the east has been cut off. This gold is not, I don't know, B's just not on it. And he's being flooded here. The Regis Cathedral has not helped B at all. No outposts with relics in them either. And so this is an interesting game. Looks like Anotand's lead time on the Castle Age has been really useful. And the fact that he had a better fishing economy earlier on, even though he lost it, the fact that he had a better fishing economy for longer has really paid dividends. It's still somehow affording these man-at-arms though, B. I'm not entirely sure how. They might be selling it in the market, possibly. Maybe he sold the stone that he had. I suspect that's the case, but He can't go through that indefinitely. Does have 407 gold. In fact, he's going here on the west. That's where it is. Okay, those villages are now funding the man-at-arms span for B. But the man-at-arms just keep diving in there for Anotand, and does have a few villages that are idled here for 3DB, but 3DB still holding on. Does technically have the better economy as it stands, but he's got a lot of man-at-arms here that are very weak, and I think if Anotand takes this fight, he wins. This is going to be painful for 3DB. He can't take this fight. He's going to lose everything. I'm not sure he realized how weak these man-at-arms are, but they are. They are going to be going down. Anotand going to win that fight very comfortably. Despite having the worst economy, he is being able to flood 3DB's base, and just doesn't have a lot left now. 3DB, 22 military units, and a lot of them, well, a handful of them will be military ships actually. So that's a bit of a, you know, misleading figure as it is. And that gold has now been attacked by one man-at-arms. That one man-at-arm has done so much damage by pushing all of these villages back. Well, 3DB is off of gold again, and that limits his production and causes a heck of a lot of idle time. The economy now for B really dwindling. The positioning of the golds has really been unfortunate, and the fact that Anotand had the presence of mind to actually send a man-at-arms on that western gold was absolutely huge. B absolutely scampering for gold, and I'm not sure he's going to manage it. We might just see the GG very soon because villagers are scampering everywhere, and this is a fight that again 3DB cannot afford to take, and is kind of forced into it with the marching drills that Anotand has. Look at this, Anotand sending even more man-at-arms to this gold as well. He knows that cutting off gold is the key to this match, and it looks like Anotand might be just winning this match as well, picking up man-at-arms even underneath the town centre. Don't forget, the town centre doesn't really hurt the man-at-arms all that much. They're super tanky, especially with the ranged armor. Second ranged armor is in for Anotand, so he can quite comfortably dive the town centre, not worry about it at all, and there are 6 villages idled there. A couple of outposts have been built here in the northwest, but again, it's not really doing all that much. That gold has been nullified, but I suspect Anotand has gone elsewhere for the gold. He has actually gone for that gold that 3DB once was on, because quite a few gold on that western side, but villagers again idle, edging towards that town centre, and he's just flooding that base completely. And it looks like 3DB going to struggle to hold on here, and there it is. 3DB taps out Anotand with a fantastic play with the Holy Roman Empire. The Burger Palace is still alive and kicking, incredibly strong for the new pup patch for Age of Empires 4.